take a tremendous amount of impact force as well as fire damage before it becomes useless.
But could they have survived an impact of this magnitude? Until they find the black boxes, the NTSB experts must start at the very beginning. Weather conditions were perfect for flying, and air traffic control report no obvious outside interference, such as another plane or a collision with a flock of birds. But one thing is immediately clear. Halfway down the runway, they find the remains of Engine 1. It must have detached from the wing during takeoff. The question is, why? The investigators hope to find the answer among the debris, scattered over hundreds of meters.
There may be some very small or individual components that would give you the actual cause of what happened. And it's referred to as the golden nugget.
It's vital to understand why the engine fell off, and fast. If the DC-10 has a design fault, the consequences for aviation will be huge. Nearly 300 DC-10s carry almost 150,000 passengers worldwide every day. Are they all at risk? The pressing question is, did the loss of the engine alone cause the crash? Or was it part of a catastrophic sequence of events? They hope that the answers will be stored in the black boxes, but to their frustration, they still have not been found. And the team struggles to identify anything meaningful amongst the wreckage. While the search continues, the team turns to eyewitnesses, and their luck changes. They uncover an extraordinary piece of evidence. An amateur photographer at O'Hare Airport captured the final moments of Flight 191. Photo shows smoke or vapor trailing from the left wing. Was there a fire on board? The evidence from one key eyewitness suggests an explosion.
My name is Edward Rucker.
Air traffic controller Ed Rucker is one of the first to be interviewed.
Administration. I saw a flash from the left wing. I told my supervisor there was an explosion.
Could the downing of Flight 191 be the result of sabotage or a terrorist attack?
The plane completed its takeoff, and then
as the investigators gather more eyewitness accounts, it becomes clear that a bomb is not responsible. The testimonies of 60 people point to one stunning moment. During takeoff, they all saw Engine 1 swing forward, then flip up and over the top of the wing. It's a shocking revelation that points towards structural failure. If true, it could potentially affect every DC-10 in the air. This would be the airline industry's worst nightmare. Experts from the National Transportation Safety Board investigates America's worst single-plane accident. They know that Flight 191 lost an engine at takeoff. But the loss of one of the DC-10's 3 engines should not be sufficient to bring it down. Yet the plane crashed just 31 seconds later. 273 people are dead. The public reels in shock, and the media demand answers. But even with NTSB experts analyzing the crash, senior investigator Woody Driver is forced to admit they are far from an explanation.
I'd like to this time ask for your help. We need some assistance in getting any kind of pictures that anybody in the area took of that aircraft while it was in flight.
The team focus their inquiry on why the engine fell off. The finger of suspicion points directly at the structure that holds the engine to the wing. The DC-10 has 3 engines, each weighing more than 5 tons. One is on the tail, The other two hang from the wings, each connected by the pylon. A pylon attaches to the wing at 3 points, 2 at the front, 1 at the rear. It has dozens of components, and every one could have shattered in the final impact. The team aimed to recover every piece of the structure that attached Engine 1 to the left wing. They comb the debris field. With help from local police, the parts are taken to a hangar at O'Hare Airport. There, NTSB experts painstakingly piece together and minutely examine every fragment. With every part, the question is, was this damaged in the crash, or was it faulty before the crash? Then comes the breakthrough they're waiting for. A policeman discovers the 2 black boxes.
Hey guys!
But the digital flight data recorder is badly battered. This records the status of all the aircraft's instruments prior to the crash. Crucial technical data may be lost. The second box, the cockpit voice recorder, records what the pilots say during the final critical moments. This is in better condition and seems more promising. Both recorders are immediately flown to NTSB headquarters in Washington, D.C. for analysis.
191 at K5, ready for taxiing.
The team inspects the cockpit voice recording first and listens to the dialogue between the pilots and air traffic control.
On our way.
What they hear is routine until 1 second before takeoff,
Rotate.
when suddenly co-pilot Dillard utters a single word.
Damn!
Then, the tape goes silent.
Rotate.
The voice recorder stops at takeoff. It will reveal nothing more.
Damn! Damn!
The team now turn to the damaged data recorder. The armored casing survived the crash, but the digital tape inside is torn. Technicians splice the shredded tape together and manage to salvage almost all the data. Only a few seconds are lost. The data recorder continued to function until the final moment before impact. The printouts reveal a disturbing picture. Even with the loss of Engine 1 from the left wing, co-pilot Dillard is able to stabilize the plane. Following standard procedure, he reduces airspeed, but for some mysterious reason, the plane starts to roll suddenly to the left. The investigators search the data recorder for the settings of the ailerons and slats on the left wing. These allow the pilot to control the aircraft. But this crucial data seems to be missing. Even though the data recorder continues working, it stops recording this information at exactly the same moment the voice recorder cuts out. The question is, why? It's now 48 hours since the crash. In Chicago, the team examining the wreckage makes a significant find. After close scrutiny of the pylon assembly that holds the engine to the wing, investigators discover what they believe to be probable cause for the engine falling off. A fractured bolt. It's a much-needed breakthrough, and the team hastily organizes a press conference. Michael Marks, senior metallurgist at the NTSB, flies into Chicago, but misses the beginning of the press conference. He arrives just as his boss, Deputy Chairman Woody Driver, makes a statement.
The investigation revealed the presence of a fatigue fracture.
While Driver speaks to the press, a colleague hands Marks the fractured bolt.
I said something like, what's so important about this bolt? Because I didn't see anything that would show that there was cracking involved.
Driver announces to the world that this simple 3-inch bolt appears to be responsible for the loss of 191's engine.
The bolt that I have in my hand is the bolt that came off the aircraft. It reflects a fatigue correction.